Number 10.
Daytona USA. I always remember seeing this game in the arcades back when I was a child, walking past the machine whilst the iconic intro music was playing. My goodness, what a good time that was. Needless to say, later on in life when I finally managed to obtain a Sega Saturn, you could imagine how delighted I was when I could play this within the boundaries of my own home. Plugging in the console, inserting the disc, and then racing on 3 different tracks, trying to progress further into the game, and not only beating my previous times, but attempting to place even better than I did before. Daytona USA should be a staple in any and every Sega Saturn collection.
There's no shortage of beat-em-ups on the Sega Genesis, and Hyperstone Heist is a contender for one of the better ones. Though it's not quite as good as its Super Nintendo counterpart, Turtles in Time, this is still a great use of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles license. Shredder has shrunken and stolen the Big Apple, and you need to defeat him. You can pick your turtle, each of which has its own strengths and weaknesses. Michelangelo is always my favorite, even though Donatello's range is hard to resist. Like many beat-em-ups, this one is even more fun with a friend and has an excellent co-op mode. The action is challenging and fast-paced, you fight all kinds of different enemies in different environments, and even get to do some surfing. Cowabunga.
House of the Dead 2. House of the Dead 2 actually holds the #1 spot on my Sega list for reasons based purely on the countless hours of fun I had playing it in the arcade. It's a light gun rail shooter developed by WoW Entertainment and released for arcade in 1998. You play as some kind of government agent sent to Venice, Italy, which has been overrun with zombies, to figure out what's going on and to help evacuate civilians. I love everything about this game, but mostly I just like shooting zombies in the face. It's so satisfying. The reload mechanic, where you just point your gun off screen, was great because it never interfered with the fast, crazy-paced action. You are also given a journal that shows you each boss's weakness, so you know exactly when and where to aim. My sister and I, armed with unlimited play cards, parked ourselves in front of the machine one night and finished the game. I don't know how many continues we used, and I don't really care. We just wanted to beat the game because we both loved it so much.
Rocket Knight Adventures. What do you get when you cross a blade-wielding possum with a mechanized army of pigs? If you'd ask me, I'd say one of the best side-scrolling platformers on the Sega Genesis. Sparkster may be an obscure hero these days, but back during the mascot craze of the 90s, he was the epitome of cool. Donning his trademark goggles and jetpack, you speed through colorful and explosive environments, hacking through the armies of swine like crispy bacon. The story is deep, rivaling the complexities of some of the RPGs on the platform, but really, the fun lies in the gameplay. Minecart dashes, lava running, giant mech battles, stages that make the game feel like a full-fledged horizontal shooter. There's so much variety packed into one 16-bit cart. Rocket Knight Adventures is a testament to the greatness of Sega's Wonder Years, and you owe it to yourself to try this one out.
Who wants to make some crazy money? I know I did. Crazy Taxi was a driving game like no other. The object was to pick up passengers and earn some crazy money. Driving around in an open world, picking up customers, and driving as fast as you can to get them where they wanted to go. One of my favorites on the Dreamcast, I remember playing this with Mighty Q Dog and his family, especially around the holidays. Nothing goes better than family holidays and video games. When someone asks if I want to play Crazy Taxi, I always respond, yeah, 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 yeah.
Number 5.
Golden Axe 2 is an arcade-like side-scrolling beat-em-up game that ironically was never released on arcade machines. It was an exclusive Sega Genesis hack-and-slash romp that is made most fun with a co-op partner. Players can choose one of 3 fighters, including a helmet-sporting, axe-wielding, beard-waving dwarf, a long-haired, ab-chiseled, sword-wielding, underwear-sporting barbarian, or a sexy swimsuit-wearing, two-handed, sword-wielding, long-legged, and kicking warrior. The game features large sprites, and while sometimes stiff and repetitive, some fun enemies to smash. Players can also ride various large lizards and swat enemies with their tail, as well as use magic attacks to wipe out enemies in desperate situations. For a light experience, a short experience, and a fun co-op experience for the Sega Genesis, it's hard to do better than Golden Axe 2 for a fun afternoon.
Sonic the Hedgehog is the first title
in what became a massively successful platforming franchise for SEGA. Immediately upon release, Sonic was pushed as a strong contender to their market rival Nintendo. While being inherently similar on the surface to other platform-style games, Sonic introduced Ring Collection, much like Mario titles with coins, except having at least one ring prevents death. All collected would be lost upon hit. However, rings briefly scatter around immediate area, allowing player a chance to recover small portion of them back. Save and defend your animal friends from Dr. Ivo Robotnik while collecting Chaos Emeralds in this premier title in the Sonic series.
If Sonic the Hedgehog 2's job was to improve on the groundbreaking original, it had a steep hill to climb. But rather than taking a run at it, it just bared down, charged up, and flew over it instantly. Back for the sequel is the Hedgehog with an attitude, and this time he's being tailed by a sidekick. Miles per hour, a weird little fox with 2 tails he can use to fly. You gotta fly if you want to keep up with Sonic. SEGA pushed this new game to be bigger and especially faster, rocketing Sonic to speeds that would leave a Super Nintendo wheezing and stuttering. There's more bright colors and catchy music, and new levels such as Casino Night Zone that'll have you using up the whole time you're playing a slot machine. Yeah, you're gonna have a heart attack getting through those dreaded underwater stages, but the boss battles continue to be fun and inventive, and Tails might actually help. Sonic 2 is simply what a sequel should be. Don't change the concept or mechanics, just give us more of what we love done better, bigger, and faster. That's Sonic 2.
Gunstar Heroes is a run-and-gun shooter video game that was developed by Treasure and published by SEGA for the Genesis. The game's story revolves around the Gunstar family as they try to take out the evil dictatorship known as the Empire. The 2 playable characters named Red and Blue both control differently from each other. Red has a free shot attack, while Blue has a fixed shot attack. After selecting which character you want to be, you're given the choice of selecting 2 of 4 different weapon attacks. These choices range from a homing attack, flame, laser, or bullets, and that's not all. You can also combine 2 of the 4 weapons to make an even more powerful attack. It's completely up to you on how you want to play this game. Even after all these years, Gunstar Heroes still looks amazing and plays great. The action is intense, the heroes are named after colors, and one of the villains looks like M. Bison from Street Fighter. This game is fantastic. It's one of the best games to ever appear on the SEGA Genesis.
Number 1.
Streets of Rage 2 is the best beat 'em up of all time. Hands down. Go play it and you'll thank me later.